Okay, so you're at the point where you're ready to research. You're going to use Google is your primary search engine, and that's okay. You can get some great sources through Google. So here in front of us, we have an example issue. This person is looking at a lack of after school sports, and they have all of their guiding questions in front of them. These are all the questions that they need their research to answer. I wanted to show you why it's important to put all of these questions into your search engine and why having multiple guiding questions is important. Let's take our first question. Why aren't there after school sports? Makes logical sense, right? So I went ahead and did that. Why aren't there after school sports? And a bunch of different articles popped up, right? This one talks about the pros and cons. This one talks about someone who's not letting their kid participate in after school activities. But I'm having a really hard time finding information so far that really answers my questions. Let's scroll. We'll keep scrolling down. Let's see. Best life. After school activities are more important than ever. Okay, so this might tell us why after school activities are important. It might tell us about after school sports. Keep scrolling. Motivating kids to be active. So if you don't find anything in your initial search, scroll all the way down. And what Google does is they include related searches at the bottom. So here we see benefits of after school sports. That will definitely tell us why after school sports are important, right? Negative effects of after school programs. That's not exactly what we're looking for. Let's see. Why after school activities are important. That might be a great search. So you can select some of these to continue your research. However, I also encourage you to go back and enter in your next question. This one was lack of after school sports, question mark. Now notice these two are asking the same question essentially, right? Why aren't there after school sports and lack of after school sports? But this uses different words, and so it's going to get us different results. Let's see what it got us. Lack of after school sports. Let's see. The first one is the pros and cons, very similar to what we got last time. The next search says California's subsidized after school programs struggling. Although California invests more than any other, the state's program is struggling financially. That might be important, right? Because if we're struggling financially, that may be why there's less after school sports. There's an article here called The Activity Gap, which says that access to after school programs is unequal. So that might explain who doesn't have access to after school sports, right? And might explain why some people have access and some don't. Let's see. Academic effects of after school programs. In youth sports, low income kids are left out of the game. That sounds really good. So access to after school programs remains a problem in low income areas. So you can see that just by putting in the question worded differently, I did get different results. So when you search, you're going to want to make sure to use all of your questions and then all of your resources. So make sure to scroll down to the bottom and see if there's any additional related searches that Google recommends. If you start to get frustrated and you're just not finding anything, chances are you need to use different keywords. So ask your teacher for help.